This is Rocking with Jam Man. Is with Freidburger. What's up, man?
How's it going? Not a lot, man. I just kicking off this beautiful Wednesday afternoon here. How are you doing, Jam?
I'm doing just dandy. Just dandy.
Nice.
Yeah, just dandy.
So, yeah. What's been going on, man? What have you been up to lately?
I just been chilling, I just been chilling recently, playing games, doing school, stuff like that. You get it, right?
What games are you playing right now?
What?
Games are you playing right now?
What games do I play? I play Resident Evil Village, Fortnite, and Call of Duty Cold War.
I only know really Fortnite, but I like to play with my nephews. They're in Alaska, so it's kind of a fun way to hang out together.
Ah, wow, that's pretty cool. Wow, man. Um, so tell me how you started your own record label, Satanic Royalty Records.
Well, it was kind of one thing that I kind of always wanted to do. It was kind of in the back of my head, just simply because I've always been involved with the music scene of the underground and had always uh, wanted to help support and help get a lot of bands that I think are just amazing. More coverage, more ground. Just get more people into it. But it was not really something that was kind of a something that I thought would be, like a real thing, just simply because if I wanted to do it, I wanted to have like enough money, enough backing to be able to do it on a wider level, be able to have global distribution and be able to put out all these records with fun colored vinyls and all these fun packages. Takes a little bit of money, more money than I have. But with the pandemic happening, I have always helped put on shows, help book tours. I manage a really busy bar that's also a venue, music venue, and I have my own band and I tour. So it's like pretty much my life had always been so busy that that was just kind of like a dream in the back of my mind. But then COVID happened, and bars and music both came to a screeching halt. So it was just like it wasn't something that happened right away. Like most people, I kind of had to reevaluate life, go through a lot of mental ups and downs to try to just refigure out everything. It's not often you have that much time to think. Uh, but after a while, I had gotten hit up by like Sandwriter is an amazing band, local band, and they needed help putting out a record, and I didn't know anyone or couldn't help them because my own band Death Cave had just been going through that. We were trying to shop out our record. I had always taken such pride that in putting out my own records over the years because I liked staying kind of underground and keeping it just pure and true and try to not ruin something that I care about and love so much by you know somebody else's terms or whatever. But we had really tried hard, but then COVID hit. So it was like, all right, we'll put my own record out with the name Satanic Royalty, which was a vinyl DJ night I used to do. So I already had like a logo and like things for it. So I was just using that as kind of like a fake label, whatever, to just make it look more professional as I was shopping things out. But so I was having an issue. Sandwriter was my dear friends, and we used to share a jam space with Eris here in Seattle. They were looking for a place as well, and then finally, Old Iron hit me up asking, and I was just like, it was kind of like the final straw that broke the camel's back. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna like kind of put this out there on like Facebook, just try to find out how to run a business, how to try to find investors, things like that. And it took about 8 months or so of pretty hard work, but because I'm not really a like college learned human being, so it's like I had to learn everything it takes to run a business and how to put together pro formas, how to put together, investor sheets, all that stuff, tax stuff. Man, that's all new to me. So I luckily I just know a lot of really smart people who do know all these things, and I was able to reach out to all, you know, to everyone and kind of make it a reality, and reached out to all the bands I wanted to get together. I got 6 bands total, including my own, and besides the record side, I wanted to, I've always loved creating merchandise and stuff. So, and I've covered head to toe in tattoos, and I've always had a really great connection with lots of tattoo artists over the world and visual artists for like records and stuff like that. So I just kind of reached out to all of these amazing artists and had different designs made so I can, as well as have the record label, have the clothing line side, which can help just keep revenue stream going. That way it's, not only having to rely on all the bands to, bring in income, it's like I want everything to kind of flow smoothly. That way, I want the bands to put out their records organically, and I want, I brought on people who are only extremely hard workers. So it's like, I don't want to tell them what to do. I just want to be able to help them doing what they're doing on a bigger level with distribution and everything. So that's kind of what happened. And here we are, it's about 5 months, 5 to 6 month holdback on pressing records. It's September will be our first release, and then we should have releases coming out at least one a month until July of 2022. So we got a lot coming, and in the meantime, we just have our web store up at satanicroyaltyrecords.com. Sorry, I just kind of rambled on there, Jam.
It's all right. It always happens sometimes. It just happens. Was it always your dream?
It was one of them. I would say that my biggest dream had always just been rock and roll, playing music. I'd been playing since I was young. It's like 12 years old when I kind of formed my first band, and I never stopped. I'd been playing ever since. It's like that has been my dream, is to play music, to travel and play music, and so it's been pretty awesome to be able to kind of live out my dream, even though it's come with a lot of ups and downs, like anything in life. But it's been the one constant that has been bringing happiness into my life. So it's something that I want to be a part of for all of my days.
Tell me about the day you signed your first band. Like the conversation you saying, "Hey man, I have my own label, and I want to sign you. I want to sign you."
Well, like I said, it kind of happened where I got reached out. Like all happened at once. I pretty much reached out to all the bands around the same time. But I had already talked with Old Iron and Eris and my band Death Cave and uh, Sandwriter. So it's like there's 4 bands already, and I pretty much, we had to talk everything out. I wanted to make sure everything was crystal clear and transparent on how everything was run and how everything would be done. So it was like I had those bands originally, and then I reached out to a few others. You know, Dark Meditation is a newer band, but they're full of musicians that I've played along with and looked up to since I've moved to Seattle in 2004, and they're just amazing people. And this new project of theirs is great. I know they're all hard workers, so I was able to sign them. They were really excited about it as well as I am. And then the other band was Is to Me. They're kind of like an atmospheric black metal band, and they're younger. They're in their mid-20s, so they're extremely hard workers, and the music that they put out is just absolutely fantastic. For fans of like Opeth and Agalok, for sure, this is just an amazing band, and I'm really, really, really excited that they were on board to come on. And then it was the only band out of all 6 that I didn't know everyone. I didn't know any of these guys at all. I followed maybe 1 or 2 on Instagram or whatever, but that's about it. It's like uh, it was just simply a faith thing. We got to know each other, and we vibed really well, and we're really looking forward to working together, especially to have this new full length that will be coming out. That's uh, really excited to be recording this. But
Um, that includes. Oh, sorry. How many bands are under your label now?
six total, and we have releases going to 2022. I will be hopefully putting out a couple of older bands that they were just amazing. They didn't really quite get their say, especially like this band Syndios uh, was a progressive black metal band. You know, they were here when I first moved here. They were incredibly inspirational to my musical journey myself, and you know, it's been 17 years and I'm still quite obsessed with that album they put out. And so it's like one of those things that I feel like needs to just be put out there in the world. And then on top of that, you know, I'm welcoming anyone to make submissions if they like. But right now I'm putting a lot of hard work into getting these six bands that I listed earlier, you know, off the ground and getting them out there, you know, get the word out there as soon as shows come back. You know, everyone will be touring. Uh, you know, we're starting off with distribution in all of North America, UK, and Europe, and hopefully soon thereafter we'll hit Japan and Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. But we're just going to start hitting it really, really, really hard, getting these bands out there. But I welcome submissions from, you know, it's like my label has guidelines. Part of what I want to do is represent Seattle hard. So I will take demos from anyone from Seattle making heavy music. It doesn't have to be any kind of genre specific. I just really like heavy and underground music. You know, that's been my passion and love my whole life. And outside of Seattle, I will recommend. I will take demos from bands that have trans members or indigenous members, simply because within the metal scene, there's been some weird stigmas and stuff with, you know, outside sources, and it's just been kind of a white person's realm forever. So I just kind of want to give opportunity to those who haven't had the most opportunity in life. And as a Native American, it's something that I really care about and I'm passionate about.
That includes your own band, correct?
Yeah, Death Cave. It's my band, and I will be representing myself in this journey to triumph.
Yeah. As a record label owner, how did you deal with the pandemic? How did you deal with it?
Well, again, this whole pandemic was the whole reason this record label was able to even happen. So I was actually able to use all this time to do lots and lots of homework, research, and learn about everything it takes. You know, it's a lot of work to get this together. So it's been kind of like one of those blessings in disguise where because of the pandemic, I have all this time to get everything in order and doing everything. So that way, when shows come back and I'm booking a lot of shows and playing a lot of shows, everything will be together in unity. You know, it'll all just be ready to kick butt. You know, like ready to give her full throttle. Mm.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's cool that I was actually able to have that time to do this now. And as things are, you know, coming back, hopefully August-ish shows will be somewhat normalized. You know, in Seattle, I'm hoping what happens is we just like everyone laminates their vaccinated card, and if you want to go to a show, just prove that you're vaccinated, and you know, let's get in the pit, do it again, you know. But we want to make sure it's safe as possible. So again, the pandemic has been great for utilizing time to make all this come to reality.
I mean, you had to change everything, the way you release albums, because you cannot tour to back them up.
Yeah, well, that was the hardest thing about wanting to, you know, with the pandemic hitting and Death Cave, we had our album just about to drop as it was happening. We had a full U.S. tour and everything with it, but it certainly was hard because the question marks with it. You know, it's like no one knew what was happening when things would return. What would it be like? You know, it started off with 2 weeks. You know, it's a year and a half later or whatever. But it's like there's really not much to know, and we just we had a lot of momentum behind this record, and so it just really seemed like, why would we hold off? Even if we can't tour, even if we can't play shows, we have time and we could figure it out. We just wanted to get this record out and be able to get it out to the world. There was time for people to listen to music. We were just hoping there's enough people who would, enough people to support, and we were quite thankful and grateful that it was received quite well. And we were able to sell quite a lot of records, but we still have enough for when we hit the road. You best believe that when it's safe to tour again, we're gonna come out guns blazing, ready to just tear it down. Just we have a lot of energy as a band naturally, and after this amount of time, we're gonna come out. We're gonna break ourselves, putting on the best show of our lives. So be prepared.
Is that your dog in the background?
Yeah, you want to see him? Balrog, come here. He's my old man. He's a corgi. Say hi, Balrog.
Aw, hi. You want to see mine?
Heck yeah, I love dogs so much.
He's only 4. He's only 4.
Yeah, my buddy just turned. Oh, look at that. Oh, Frenchie. Oh, what a cutie. What's his name?
Yeah, Chopper. He's a Boston.
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Balrog. He's a corgi, and he just turned 13 last month. So he's a little bit older, but it's nice because I sometimes work really long days at the office. So he just likes to chill super hard. He's got his bed right there, snacks here. And yeah, we just go for little walks around. My office is right by the waterfront, right by Pike Place Market here in Seattle. So there's some pretty little places we can go for little walks and just get out of the office for a second.
Sorry. Chopper has 6 balls. Sis.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow, this guy's a mutant. He must be all about the ladies.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Chopper sick balls.
Sick balls. Chopper sick balls. I get it.
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah. That's great. But Chopper 6 balls, that's pretty good too,
Chopper. Okay, right. Next question. Do you have to tell a lot of bands to hold off releasing stuff? Releasing on stuff?
And at this point, not really. It's like, again, because the record turnaround time, because everything got kind of like put on hold, and now everything's been just destroyed with everything. So across the board, no matter what record plant you go to, it's around 5 to 6 months for those records to turn around. So it's like, let's just work. You know what I mean? It's like there's no holding back right now. It's like let's get as much done as we can, because by the time it's finished, hopefully we'll be ready to rock and roll. Damn.
Do you switch to singles format? A lot of labels did.
You see, that's the hardest thing, because a lot of the bands on my label they would play heavier songs, longer songs, like around 7 to 9 minutes is an average song. So it's like, putting out a couple singles, that's like a half an album, so it's like, the way I don't know, the way I see it, I've always loved 3-month campaigns. This 3 months time, I feel like taking too long. Like for me, that Gorgira album, by the time it came out, half the album was already out in singles, and I was already bored. I was ready for a new album from someone else. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like maybe the too much singles can be too much, but I don't know. I've got ADHD. 6 months of campaigning an album is way too long. I will forget about it. You know what I mean? Forget about it.
Forget about it. Do you have the bands to do a lot of writing and recording?
Like right now, we have six really powerful bands that have a lot to do, and we have releases until 2022 summer. We've got a lot to do, and some of the bands have been writing consistently. So I have a few releases of theirs to release. And like I said, I'll welcome anyone else who's trying to get their music out there. And even if I can't get for like Seattle bands especially, even if I can't afford to put yourself out immediately, if you don't have a label, I definitely welcome people to contact me, and I'll help distribute your stuff on our web store. It's the least I could do, especially if I can't afford to help every single band that reaches out to me. I definitely want to be able to help at least get the names out there.
It was pretty cool having the guy from Furburger to do that Furburger video.
Uh, yeah, man. Fubar has always been one of my like hugest inspiration. I haven't drank alcohol for like 6 years, but when I was younger in my early 20s and stuff, I definitely lived my life like the Fubar guys. So they were like an incredible inspiration, and I've always loved them, and I follow them online. So having Terry come on and kick off the label for us was really really special. Like uh, it was, and I only told him a couple things, and he pulled out that video, and it was just like so perfect. And yeah, I mean, I definitely am stoked on the amount of people we've had kind of helping get the word out there, spread the love.
So, what are the different kinds of metal on your label?
Well, like I was saying, Isme is kind of like black metal. My band, Death Cave, we use elements of doom, sludge, thrash, black metal, and death metal. We kind of like mix a lot of things, psychedelic as well. It's like we each of our songs are pretty long, and we like to definitely have our thrash moments, our slow doom moments, our sludgy, bluesy moments, our black metal moments. It's just like you're able to express so much emotion through each of these types of music. I've never been one to like to play one specific style of genre because I love all music that's heavy and good. I'm very particular, but it goes across the board. And uh, so that's the type of music I like to play. Eris is, they're more doomy, more pretty post metal, I guess, but it's like man, they're just extremely good, great. They're heavy. John Pettibone's voice is like one of my favorite vocalists ever. Uh, Isme is the atmospheric black metal. Old Iron, they're more doomier sludge, I guess, as well. They're incredibly crushing, but they have these really amazing musical moments where they're just able to just continue playing a riff and able to get a lot of emotions out of it. And then Sandrider, I don't even know how I'd explain Sandrider. They're definitely heavy. They're weird. They've got hooks, incredibly like catchy songs. Um, yeah, I don't, I don't know what genre I'd really put them in. I'd just say heavy. They're a heavy band.
Yeah.
Amazing. Holy cow! I'm so excited to have Sandrider on the label. They're just uh, really quite a powerhouse of human beings that are incredibly artistic and special. Let's see, and then Dark Meditation is kind of like it's very old school, like heavy metal, like kind of like old school Merciful Fate type guitars and stuff. But the vocals are very like gothy and dark synthy, and like kind of like uh, yeah, gloomy. They're very gloomy vocals. It's really quite amazing. Again, these are a new band, but they've got a very 70s, early 80s sound that they're able to really create quite well and get it across. Really looking forward to this album. We're recording in 2 months, 2 months, 2 months with Matt Bayless over at Litho, and uh, yeah, this album's gonna be super fun. Can't wait to put it out.
So, what is the difference between all the different kinds of metal?
Well, the difference, that's a great question, Jam Man. I've always been terrible at speaking genres. A lot of people can contest to that. You know, I say things that are the what I think, and I think a lot differently than most people. But you know, it's always been weird, the subgenres of metal. There's so many of them. Some people are so incredibly true to just one style, and that's okay. You know, whatever makes you happy, do it. That's the best part about metal, is that it's such a pure form of expression and happiness, even though it does come off as evil.
Tell me about the couch covers.
Well, that was a quarantine thing, you know. I, you know, while I wasn't able to really uh, write music because of depression and such, it's just, you know, writer's block is a very real thing. I did want to keep my chops up, and I've always loved playing covers since I was a little kid, man. We used to have this show in Alaska called The Great Cover Up, where like it was an all day show at the college, and everyone would do full cover sets of a band, but also nobody knew what the bands were covering. It was kind of like a secret until the day of the show, and then everyone would just do these full cover sets. And you know, I did several of those growing up. I've always loved doing covers. I always loved playing them. So it's like, you know, obsessing over what the Arsenio Hall and the people over at 2 Minutes to Late Night were doing was definitely an inspiration to want to get together with musical people that I've always loved, but you know, haven't necessarily been in a band with. Just be able to rock out these covers. It's been so fun. You know, just to be able to play these songs and put them out real quick and just have fun with it. It's just really great. It's a really pure form of being able to play and stay connected with people in a time when it's really hard to stay connected with people. You know, we have phones and stuff, but a lot of people I imagine are like me, where it's just like I need that connection, like that personal connection, be able to look people in the eyes in person and talk to them. Like, you know, the Zoom is great, and I love this, but it's not the same as hanging out in the same room. You know, so but it's definitely better than nothing. So I am quite blessed that we're able to have this technology during this pandemic. You know.
Um, are any of your bands starting to tour? Are any of your bands starting to tour?
No, no, no. We're all gonna wait and see what happens. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are already doing things, playing. That's cool. You know, as long as they're doing trying to do it safe. You know, but we just want to wait and make sure everything's good to go. You know, it's like we'll start booking shows probably at the end of summer, but we're not gonna be touring that soon probably. But fingers crossed, people get vaccinations and we're able to hit that point of 70% herd immunity or whatever. And again, we can start playing shows and pushing each other in the mosh pit and stage diving again. I go once shows come back full swinging after this long of a break, there's going to be a lot of energy and emotions at these shows, and I cannot wait. I
Yeah,
can.
yeah, I cannot not wait too because then I can further produce my channel as well. Because finally, then I can get to take pictures and interview people finally in real time, so I can finally handshake them. Like, hey, it's good to meet you, man.
Are those your pictures, Jam?
What?
Are those your pictures in the back?
No, these are my dad's. But I did take some.
Those are some awesome pictures, but yeah, get out there. We need more awesome photographers who are passionate about music, journalists who care. I'm so stoked about people like you just keeping, you know, making sure that all the generations going on keep the passion and the faith. You know, metal is such a pure and amazing thing that
Well,
it's so awesome to have dudes like you just keeping it up. You know.
yeah. Well, I did take pictures of Rolling Stones, though. I did take pictures of Rolling Stones
Heck yeah, that's awesome. You got to see that last show. I didn't make it out, but I had a couple coworkers who went, and they said it was
in
absolutely
Buffalo. The one in Buffalo.
no the one here in Seattle. But I mean, that tour, you know, they did what is that 2 years ago or whatever. and said that the show was amazing. I mean, uh, it's really awesome that dudes at that age who have put their bodies through that much can still get up and give her the way they can. It's really awesome and inspiring.
Now, are you in charge of that as well, getting your bands on the road?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And again, it's going to happen, and we will slowly start to take over this planet with awesome metal. But it will. Again, it's just going to take a little bit of time, but we got plenty to do and a lot to work on. So in the meantime, we're just going to keep on trucking, and uh, we'll be out there soon. Like I said, it's not like something that's so far away that we can't really plan it. It's just we got to plan it accordingly. We got to just make sure everything's in the right place, like a game of chess, so that when time's right, boom,
You'll finally overthrow hip hop and rock and pop.
hip hop and rock and pop. Yeah. Then we're gonna bop it. Then we're gonna twist it. And then we're
Pop
gonna
it, twist it, kiss it.
kiss it. Don't
The
mind kissing things.
wait, what?
Uh,
What?
what?
What? Okay, let's just continue. I'm pretty sure you. I just heard you say you like kissing things.
Well, you said kiss it, bop it, squeeze
Yeah,
it, kiss it. So I
yeah,
said,
yeah. Okay. Um, what was it like recording during COVID? What was it like recording during COVID?
uh, well, we didn't record. We recorded in February, right as COVID was hitting. So we were lucky enough to record our entire album as it happened. And then besides that, all the recording and everything I've done has been on one of these Scarlett interfaces that so many musicians last year and a half. And I mean, they're amazing. They make it just so easy to be able to do recording and be able to do things like the couch covers, and for a lot of bands, be able to continue having band practice where they couldn't be in the same room and stuff. So that's really awesome.
Um, it had to be different dropping an album and not being able to tour. That had to be like it just doesn't feel right.
Boy, you're telling me, especially after putting together a full tour for it, just to not have that backing. It's like especially that home show. It's like the either the tour kickoff or the welcome home tour is usually one of the best feelings. And you put a record out, you have an entire scene of people you love and care about coming to support. It's like the coolest thing in the world, and not having that is pretty weird. But again, just we weren't about to just sit on it for a while. I'm really bad about hyping things up and stopping. It's like I wanted to make sure it was out, done. We did everything we could, and then when it came time to tour, we will tour. And it's like that's kind of how I've been looking at it. It's like it was really cool to put it out and try to press as much as we could, but it'll be awesome when we could get out there and tour. And you bet your buns that as soon as it's safe to do it, we're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna get out there and just conquer.
Now was it Wacer promoting this kind of music than it was back in the day?
Sorry, I missed the first thing you said. What was that?
Now it has to be Wacer, like easier, to promoting this kind of music than it was back in the day because everything was like rock, not that much metal was in there except for Megadeth. Well, except for Flat.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that it's a very much yes and no because like there's a lot less people doing it. I think back in the day, so it's a little bit I think easier to get into a be able to book shows, get all that. There wasn't too many people, so it made it a little easier. But it's a lot harder work. There's a lot of work, but at the same time, I've never cared about working my butt off for music. It's such a wonderful, passionate thing. We're so privileged to live where we spend so much time uh, creating art and music that we want. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work. Doesn't really feel like super hard work when it's something you really, really care about, especially if you care about it as much as you do and enjoy it. You know, making those connections is absolutely the best feeling in the world, you know. And it's like the more you travel and more you see the world, you know, the more you're able to be like, you know, you go to, you know, in Copenhagen, and you have mutual friends with someone back home. Because of that, you're able to be like best friends with someone new just because you have the same, you know, it's like that love and that community is just such a pure and amazing thing that it's yes and no, you know. Like nowadays it makes it so easy. I could talk to all of my favorite bands around the world, like we just communicate, we're able to help each other out, you know. It's like I love it, and yeah, I just love it, you know. It's like you can't say I hate it. I just like I love it. You got to keep up with the times, you know. If you don't keep up, you're gonna get left behind. But it's like, who cares? It's something you care about. It's something you're passionate about. And yeah, maybe it's easier now, but it's like I, who cares? At the same time, it should be easy. It should be able to make it easy to get your music out there because it's the people who listen and the fans that will decide what's great. You know, it just maybe it takes a little bit more siphoning through the stuff, but all the true fans will you know take the time to do it. Sorry, I got off the rails a bit there, but I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, it sure did. What I mean is that hard stuff was only known by the few of the weird kids in school back in the day. Now there are radio stations that only play the hard stuff. Websites devoted to it, Spotify, Pandora channels. It's come through gyms and played in movies and video games.
I know it's great. I mean, it's like it's a bummer that Wastelands game or whatever got recalled or whatever because it was super rad that they reached out to a lot of really cool bands and got them to do things like music on it. You know, like one of my favorite bands from Brazil, Beth Kids, had a song on it and stuff like that. I just think it's so amazing that it's being integrated more and not just new metal. You know, like it became popular in the '90s and early 2000s and movies and stuff, but it was all very new metal music. So it was. It's really cool that kind of the more underground heavy stuff is being out there. And I don't think it's selling out, man. I'm from a small town in Alaska. Like I was able to find bands like Metallica and Sepultura because someone out there had enough faith to put out their music and put it out on a widespread spectrum. You know what I mean? It takes that. I don't think it's selling out. I think it's being able to get your music to people who care, you know? It's not everyone has the privilege or luck to live in a big city where music goes to, you know?
I think metal and rock have been under attack. You don't see this generation at all, and the media playing it, it's all geared toward pop and hip hop, don't you think? And rock is basically taking the backseat.
Oh, it always has, man. People have always loved their pop. People love their hooks. People love being told what to love. You know what I mean? And there will always be people like that. And I never see it as a battle or any kind of thing like that. Let people love what they love. You know, I love stupid radio hits too that make me dance. I love to dance. But it's like metal, you know, metal is what it's at. And honestly, it's like no matter how popular or dispopular it gets, it will always be there because people love it. People have the passion for it. You know, metal has always gone through kind of like ups and downs of popularity and stuff, but it's like it doesn't matter where it's at as long as people are passionate about it and keeping it going. Because as long as there's that passion, there will always be the audience, you know, no matter how big or small, that will support and keep it going.
You are so right. Yeah, there really is. Well, like there really isn't supposed to be a big battle about it. There's just supposed to be, metal, rock, pop, country, hip hop.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their own style. You know what I mean? It's like you can't force everyone to like your stuff. You know, it's like you can't be like Christians trying to force everyone to do exactly what you do. That's not how the world works. You know, it's like if you want to find peace, let people do what they do. Love it. You know, be open minded about it. I've never seen things as a competition as much as just trying to stay focused on what's important.
And now cancel culture is going after our icons, like my boy Marilyn Manson. And now one of the nicest guys in the industry, my friend David Ellison. David Ellison. It's not cool what the way society just tries to get rid of these guys. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Uh, man, I've got a lot of opinions on this. I am so about people owning up to things that they do. You know, even if people have done bad things in their past, admit to it. You know, I say your thing and move on. You know what I mean? It's like trying to like say that all this stuff never happened or anything is just dumb. But I mean, it's like we should be more accepting. I don't think cancel culture is as great as much as we should try to be. Uh, we should try to focus on like making people own up to what they did. And you know, it's like maybe you can't play music, but own up to what you did and try to be a better person. Like I think that a lot of humans have. We're all human. We all make mistakes and stuff. It just depends on how you move forward from that point. That really matters. You know what I mean? It's like those people who do really bad things and continue to just be jerks about it and say like be canceled. You know what I mean? There's a lot of really hardworking, really good people out there um, for these jerks and stuff who try to just fight back and who try to like blame everyone and blame the newer generation. You know, that's just cop outs. It's just like gaslighting like stuff. You know what I mean? It's like if people, some people should be canceled 100%, but give people a jury. You know what I mean? It's like let people talk, hear everyone's side, see everything how it should be. Again, it's like everyone is guilty of doing bad things at some point. It just depends on how the people move forward. That really matters. You know what I mean? It's like um, again, there's people have made a lot of mistakes over the years. That's where I stand. I'm very for and very against cancel culture. It just depends on like when people are just so fast to just be like blah 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 without even talking to someone or hearing anything out. I think that that's pretty unhealthy. But definitely, if people get called out and they still don't do anything or whatever, I think that should be the way it is. You know, people shouldn't be able to just be like, you know, I have so much say and I have so much pull that I don't care what you say because I'll be fine. You know, that should not be how it is, how things work at all. Like we're all human and we should all just be given a chance to be good. That's all. So it's a hard place for me to be, but I'm happy that people are being called out for sure. Because there are a lot of really, really bad people who can infect and hurt the scene. But I think that it's gone a little too far to some extent. So that's how I feel. It's weird. It's a weird topic, but again, it's something that I'm happy is happening. But I do feel like sometimes it gets a
Oh,
little,
no, like a little too like.
yeah, or where like people don't fully do their research. You know what I mean? Or people will talk first before. You know, it's like if everything's researched fully enough, and like then it's like who cares? But the thing is that there's a lot of mixed stuff in the mix. You know, so it's hard to say that it's good or bad because it just depends on the situation.
What's your favorite memory from playing the show? What is your favorite?
What was that? My favorite memory of playing a show?
Yeah, what is yeah? What is
Well, holy cow. I've got so many fun memories of playing shows. My favorite shows have always been like smaller house shows, DIY venue shows, parking lot shows. Usually where you get people who are just having such a good time, people who don't care about what's going on, people who don't care if they're dancing, headbanging, just having a great time. Like those are my favorite shows. Like right before COVID happened, we were able to play in the Bar House alleyway for our anniversary with Helmsley and Wild Powers, who are two of my favorite bands in Seattle. Um, there was just such a wonderful energy. You know, there's 100 something people there, and it was just like every, you know, it's the type of show where you just want to hug every single person there. You know what I mean? It's like those are my favorite shows where it just like it doesn't matter like who's playing or what's going on. It just the energy in the room is so exciting, and then it's just like total bonus that You get to see amazing music.
What is your worst?
Worst?
Yes.
Ah, man, I try not to play worst shows.
That makes sense.
I would say is like when you're younger, like before you're 21, when you had to like rent venues and you had to do things like that, is when you would like put all this time into a show and no one would show up.
Oh,
Man, that's got to be the worst feeling. You make flyers, try to put them out there. You spend all this time booking, and you end up losing money, whatever. But it's like I try not to focus on those, man. It's like those are all part of it. You can't let those days bring you down. You can't focus on those days. It's just like anything in life. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have terrible things happen. But if you focus on the good stuff instead of the bad stuff, your mind tends to be a little healthier than if you just be like, oh, I never, it's just like, why focus on bad things that happen? It's like it happened. Learn from it. Try to do better next time. But yeah, focus on the good shows.
what is next for you? What is next for you?
Next, man, the bars are starting to open a bit. I really want to get shows happening at the end of summer. We'll see what happens with that. I'm recording an EP soon with Death Cave. This is summer. I want to go camping a lot. What's next? If I kind of want to do a podcast come next summer, I want to start doing a festival here in Washington.
Oh, do you
Similar.
be in that podcast?
What's that?
Do you mind if I can join on that podcast one day?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, man. Again, community. We rub each other's back, scratch each other's back. You know what I mean? Of
Yeah, I
course,
love metal. I love metal. It's so cool. It really is. It really is cool.
it's such an important community. And again, like I love the fact that the younger generations are doing what they're supposed to and filling the shoes. Then it just makes me so happy. And yeah, I love that. I love to have you on our podcast, man. I love to do anything that helps support what I feel is so good and true.
Yeah, because younger generation, the ones that really take their steps and they're gonna put their feet in somebody else's shoes. What I mean by that is like the other generation. And so that they'll claim that and make that their shoes. And then the other generation takes that. You get it? You get it
Yes.
as like a big cycle kind of thing?
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of how history has always worked, where like people go back and they love the things from 10, 20, 30 years prior, but they make it their own way. You know what I mean? And like, it's beautiful. That's all art has ever been. You know what I mean? It's like everyone has been ripping off people's stuff from before them and making it their own, putting their own sauce on it, putting their own pepper. Like, that's the way it should be. It's like no one, it's impossible to have 100% original ideas now. The only thing you could do is make it your own, add your personality, add your flavor to it. So, yeah, keep it up, younger generation.
Yeah,
Make those
keep it up.
shoes any way you want it, bud.
How did my followers start following you? How do my followers?
Instagram, Satanic Royalty Records, but Satanic is with a K. Uh, and we're on Facebook, Satanic Royalty Records, Twitter. I don't remember what our Twitter handle is, something like that. I'm sure if you just search for Satanic Royalty Records, find it. We're on TikTok. If you want to see our couch covers and everything, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. There'll be a lot of fun content there. I love making videos, something I've always loved to do since I was younger. So there'll always be some kind of cool videos coming out on the YouTube channel. And our web store is at satanicroyaltyrecords.com. It's SATANIK, royaltyrecords.com. Yeah, I mean, all the support would help everything. And again, we're just trying to get the music out there that we love and work as a community with everyone we care about to help make something that we care about grow.
Yeah. And they can get all your albums and your merch there?
Absolutely. Everything's on our web store. Also, if you want to just go, like if you click on all of our bands, we have links to all of their social medias and their band camps and everything. If you want to go that way, which is totally cool. I mean, it's just the web store just makes it easier to just get everything at once. But at the same time, I want people to support any way they want to support. So I like to keep the links there. I like to make everything as easy as possible so people can navigate and get what they need to get done.
Um, I see you have a ton of merch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots and lots.
definitely, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's something that again, it's like I want to get this thing going and I want to do it right. You know, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of stuff to make it happen, but keep my head up and keep working and hope that everything works out right, man. Like once shows and festivals happen, you could expect to see me set up with a booth, uh, for sure. And also, like I was saying earlier, I want to be doing a festival here in Washington soon, like somewhere around Easton. I'm thinking where it's a show where everyone will play outdoors with the beautiful Pacific Northwest mountains in the background, and then camping afterward. I want to do something like that, just because it's my style of things rather than a bunch of venues spread throughout a city kind of festival. I like to do just kind of like a camping style thing, similar to what Fire in the Mountains does in Montana, Wyoming. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be getting that kicked off in 2022, 2023 if things are a little hairy, but definitely expect to see more from us as we try to keep growing and keep these and chewing, keep these train tracks a chewing.
I do unboxing. You wanna hook a brother up?
Sorry, what was that? I heard a ding as you were talking.
That's right. Um, I do unboxings if you wanna hook a brother. Uh,
I'll hook you up, buddy.
yeah, thank you, man. By the way, yeah, man, I'm finally gonna get that loaf of bread. My God, it's been a while. Man, dude, you really gotta help me with these sponsors, man. I really need these shoes right now. I don't. I need the loaf of bread, dude. I just need it. Okay, it'll help me for a little bit, and then we
Heck
can use our body fat for a couple weeks. And then we're gonna have to do another sponsor.
yes.
All right, I'm sorry if I just drive you insane. I'm just trying to teach
You're good,
you.
bud. I love it, man. That drive is reminds me of myself, man. It's like it's important to keep at it. Work as hard as you can. I love it. And yes, you can expect a package from me.
Well, thank you for being on the show, man. The next time we talk is at the backstage at one of your shows, dude. Please.
Yeah, you could definitely come to any of our shows anytime, man. I'll put you on the list always.
Thank you, man. Always remember, Jam Man, Buffalo. I, all right, but put me on the list in somewhere like Toronto or somewhere like Rochester. Always put me on the list if you guys ever have those shows.
Yeah, I can't wait to make it back to upstate New York, man. It's been a long time since I've been there. But I was a teenager actually. I was 19 years old. But I'll be back hopefully soon. Again, we're planning this full U.S. tour and want to come back shortly. If we play in those areas, I'll make sure we book an all ages show so the Jam Man can come represent.
All right, thank you, man. Have a good one.
All right, bud. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.